All right, so for this section, we are going to put in what's called the chine. Now, the chine goes right across the bottom of the boat, right? That's the joint between the side and the bottom, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to go through your sticks and find two of the smaller ones, like make sure it's not a fat one. And just find the smallest ones, find two of them that are about the same width. Make sure they're matched and they're even. And then also make sure that the grain isn't too swirly, that it doesn't have any loops. We're gonna have to bend these guys, so there is a danger of breaking, okay? So what we're gonna do in order to get this going is we're going to have to make what's called a compound angle. So compound angle means that it's gonna have two different angles, like compound, like is going to look at the angle this way on the bow and this way. So a horizontal and a vertical angle. We're going to have to transfer that onto the piece, which is going to be fit inside of the boat here. Okay? So for starters, we're going to basically, it's going to be easier to start out with this horizontal one here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your bevel gauge and you're going to stick it on the outside of the boat and then line it up with the front of the back of the stem. Okay. Once you got that, now you want to make sure that there's two dimensions, the fat side and the skinny side. We're going to mark this on the skinny side. So I've got that there. It doesn't matter how close to the end, just fairly close to the end. And just mark that going across there like that. See if you guys can see that a little better. See there, I just made my mark. Okay. Okay, there like that. Okay. And then the next one is going to be the vertical measurement, and that's going to be on the inside of the boat. And then maybe you can see that this way. Here's that. I'm going to look at capturing the angle of the boat like that. Okay, that's that. And then there's my angle. And I gotta hold it to make sure that I'm not gonna lose it. And I'm gonna then line that up on the same spot as the last one was. So I'm gonna make sure that those two lines meet, okay? Okay, and then so now, see if you guys can see that there. Not super great how the camera just doesn't really give you the, there it is. It's hard to see, maybe when I do it on the black thing, yeah. There's your angle on two sides. Okay, and what we're gonna do now is then we're gonna bring it over to the bench hook and we're gonna cut this compound angle. So in order to cut a compound angle on the bench hook, we gotta be able to hold the saw in such a way that we line up with both lines at the same time. So if I cut straight down, I'm just cutting a regular line. So I wanna tilt it over like that, and I'm gonna cut this line here and the other line at the same time. There it is. There it is. So now I've got a compound angle. I got this angle and I got that angle there. I'm going to bring it back over to my boat. There's something actually I forgot to do. I want to mark which side is up and which side is in. Okay? So there's my line is gonna fit right there like that. Okay? And then it's going to bend around into there like that. So I want to be able to do that. So this side is in, like there. I'm going to mark it there with an arrow. And then this side is up. So that's towards the top of the boat. okay? And I'm also gonna put one more line in there, which is gonna be forward. Okay, so I got 3 arrows. I got a forward arrow, I got an in arrow, and I got an up arrow, okay? And just looking in there, this is like fitting it, right? It looks pretty good. I mean, I could clean it up a little bit. The vertical one looks excellent. The horizontal one could use a little bit of improvement. So I'm just gonna take my sandpaper and flatten that out a little bit and kind of smooth out these sides here. Okay, so there we go. Let's look at it again. See if that's any better. Where's my up and in? Okay, good. All right, that looks great. Okay, and now I'm gonna have to be real careful when I bend these in a minute, but let's do the same. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot a step. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put it in place. I'm gonna hold it and I'm gonna bend it around. And I'm just gonna kind of hold it in place there. And I'm gonna mark this center frame line. Do you see that there? I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna come up. I'm also gonna come over on the top, okay? And so that's gonna give me my center frame line just like that. You see that there, okay? That's actually really important. You'll find out in a minute why. And then now, back to marking angles. My ups and ins, okay? And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to sit my piece on the ground, on the table, so that I don't lose it, okay? So I don't get confused as to what's what. There's my line for my horizontal mark. And it doesn't, again, it doesn't really matter where you mark this because the measurement side is going to come in a minute. And then here is the vertical one. Put that in place. And then the vertical one's going to go on this face here, right? So hold that one up and then mark it like that. Okay. So now that we've got that marked, I don't know if you can see this again, but basically you've got 2 sides, 2 different curves. We're going to bring it over to the bench hook. We are going to make a cut. You have to turn it so you can see both of the angles, right, at the same time. And okay, bring my boat back over here, put it in place. How does it look? It looks pretty good. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. Came out pretty good. There's a little bit of stuff there. I'm just gonna use my sandpaper to get off that stuff on the very top. Okay, there. And then now we're gonna do the same process again. Here's my up and in. My arrows are in place. I'm gonna put it in place here, and I'm going to mark my center frame line. Okay, there's that. I'm gonna mark it in 2 places. Mark it on the top as well. Okay, so now I have it marked in 2 places, and I'm gonna take my index card and I'm just gonna mark both of them. I'm gonna transfer both of those lines onto the card, okay? And then I'm going to bring it over. I'm actually going to bring it to the front of the boat because the front of the boat's a little easier. And I'm going to measure using the index card from that top inside corner down to the second mark. Okay, so we did both sides of this. We cut this side and we cut this side. And then we marked in the middle. This is the difference between those two marks. And all I'm doing now is I'm going to take that off of the front. But we can't lose our angles either. So we have to remember our ups and our ins. And we're going to line up our bevel gauge here like that. You guys see that, right? And then we're going to bring it over to our mark. And then, oh, looks good. It's a little tricky. There's the bevel, and you have to kind of hold it up. Or you can move it off to the side of your piece and measure there. And then the second one, that. I'm going to use my ruler to clean that up a little bit. All right, so now I've got my compound cut. And I'm going to cut with my right hand. Can you guys see that? And then I've got this piece here. And there it is. Save this piece, you'll need it in a bit. Okay, how does my cut look? It looks good. All right, so move my stuff off to the side. And let's go ahead and fit it in place.